Welcome to ADVA Optical Networking. I'm Angelica Barriga. ADVA Optical Networking remains #1 in Ethernet access devices for the 5th straight year, partially due to the exclusive features that we incorporate into our products. So for today, I thought we would take a brief look at one of the many product features that brings value to our customers: real-time in-service monitoring and SLA enforcement of delay or latency of a network. To help me out, we have Shannon Williams, one of the many carrier Ethernet gurus here at ADVA. Shannon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Angelica.
Great, thank you for joining us.
Sure, it's my pleasure.
Can you briefly walk us through an example of in-service timing monitoring?
Sure, what I'd like to show you is what we refer to as our in-service threshold crossing alarms, or TCAs.
Oh, that sounds great. Please go ahead.
All right, well, what I want to show you quickly is my setup. We have two FSP 150s directly connected back to our lab, and in between we have our NUI delay generator, which is simulating impairments throughout your network for measuring delay and jitter. So first thing we want to do is log into our FSP 150. So if we first go and look at our FSP 150, if you look at the screen, this is the eVision GUI that comes standard with all of our boxes. One of the first things I want to show you is that we have an NTP screen for configuring a primary and backup server. We also have tools built in to measure the accuracy and precision of the NTP server that's being used. We all know that when you're measuring timing across a network, it's extremely important to have a very precise NTP server, and your measurements can only be as accurate as the NTP server that's being used. Next, we'll go to our Ethernet Service Assurance screen. This is where you're actually going to configure your real-time in-service monitoring. And as I mentioned before, ADVA has tools for Layer 2 and Layer 3 networks for point-to-point and multi-point applications. You'll see on this screen I've already built a probe for ESA. This first screen shows you the different statistics that are available. We have general counters that show you the number of frames that are sent. And then we also have screens that can show you the amount of delay in both directions, the one-way delay, and also your round-trip delay. And then it also measures jitter in both directions. Now we'll go over to our impairment generator, and we'll see that I've inserted 200 microseconds of delay in one direction already. We'll go ahead over to the next blade and insert another 200 microseconds delay. Now what we'll want to do is go back to the FSP 150 and configure our threshold crossing alarm. You can configure a threshold crossing alarm for any performance monitoring value on the box. So with a few clicks, we'll get to our Edit Threshold screens. We'll focus specifically on our one-way delay. So we'll look at our probe to reflector, maximum one-way delay. All values are in microseconds. We'll set this at 150 microseconds, since as we know we inserted 200 microseconds of delay. And we'll hit OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to log into our FSP Network Manager so that we can see the actual threshold crossing alarm come in. All threshold crossing alarms are sent via SNMP to the FSP Network Manager software or to any third-party operating system. So you can see you have this topology view of all the boxes. One of the first indicators that there's a threshold crossing alarm is this small checkbox in the lower left-hand corner. I've gone ahead and set our threshold crossing alarm to a critical value because we consider SLAs extremely important for our customers' networks, and they want to be notified immediately. So we have it shown as red in the lower left-hand corner. If we actually click on that box and go to our recent tabs, you can see in the event log we have an event labeled as TCA. It tells you the entity alias, so the name of the probe is ESA. It's important to note that you have the ability to label the probe however necessary, so it's easy for you to identify in the network what area is having problems. Then if we scroll over to our description field, we can see max one-way delay, probe to reflector delay threshold crossed, and it shows the monitored value at 216 microseconds and our threshold value at 150 microseconds. So not only do we have the visual indicator, but we also have this event description, and then we've gone ahead and set up an email notification. If we go to our inbox, we can see that we have an email labeled Threshold Crossing Alarm. You have the ability to configure the subject however necessary. And then if we look at the description, right here it shows that we have a max one-way delay, again with a monitored value of 260 microseconds and a threshold value of 150 microseconds. so you can be easily alerted of any issues in your network and when you're about to violate any sort of SLA. So Angelica, that kind of shows you quickly some of the tools that we have for monitoring delay and jitter across the network.
Shannon, in your example, I noticed you had two boxes connected together. However, our customers' networks are very large and complex. So how does the FSP 150 serve these networks?
Well, it's very common for a lot of our customers to not only deploy the FSP 150 in end-to-end configurations, but also to put them in different points within their network. That way they can segment the network when they're monitoring and troubleshooting and be able to easily isolate any type of issue. And again, like we mentioned, you can do layer 2 and layer 3 networks in point-to-point and multi-point configurations. Each of the FSP 150s is also extremely scalable. It can support multiple probes and reflectors simultaneously. So there's a lot of advantages of using this small box for monitoring delay and jitter across your network.
Wow, that sounds great. Thanks, Shannon. But now I have another question. Can you reconfigure the network manager to forward the TCAs to Jim's email address?
Isn't he on vacation right now?
Yes, indeed. He is on vacation, but when he's out, he forwards the TCAs to his phone.
Oh, okay. I got it. Hang on.
Thanks again, Shannon. And thank you for joining Adva Optical Networking. To learn more, please visit us at advaoptical.com.